30 years of the best sports talk in Middle Tennessee, featuring Tennessee Radio Hall of Famer George Plaster, Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame coach Watson Brown, and young guns Billy Derrick. And now, here's your host, George Plaster.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome in. It's a hot Thursday in Nashville, Tennessee. We got a lot of things going on. Let's check in right off the bat in Murfreesboro with our own Kelly Holcomb. Kelly, how are you?
I'm doing good, George. How you doing?
Yeah. You're about to get adjusted. So, Billy, you approve of where I'm about to go with this?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. So
it is what it is, George.
Yeah, we are putting together. In August, you're going to see some television commercials about our show as we try to publicize, get the word out, get more people watching. We're proud of our product. So we make the decision that we will cut one of the commercials today at the Ford Ice Center in Bellevue, which has been our home for the last, let's say, 4 months, April, May, June, July. Yeah, about 4 months. So every day at some point, I say to our beautiful new digs at the Ford Ice Center in Bellevue. So what does this one do? He shows up at the Ford Ice Center in Antioch. Okay, we realize that issue, which, I mean, please. Then when he comes out to Bellevue, he sort of acts like this is Zimbabwe. I've never been to Bellevue. Really? You've lived in this area how long?
I've never been to Bellevue. Not ever. When you kept saying that, I was like, okay. I mean, I knew it was a place, but I've never been there. And it's so remote, which is not really remote, but I'm living it up. It's so remote that my phone got me on 70 South, and then it just cut off. So when I come for your sports speaker series, I'll be sure to pack a lunch because it's out there. I mean, where I was, I don't even know where I was, George. I was in Cheatham County.
First of all, way to put a real good plug in for the Ford Ice Center in Bellevue, and way to really pep up what we're doing on Sunday night by acting like people have to drive to Memphis to get there.
Yeah, but all the people are in Nashville, George. They're not in Murfreesboro. I'm from Fayetteville, Hoss, okay? So, there's a lot more smarter people in Fayetteville than I've never said I was smart. We've got more than one red light, but not many more than one red light. Okay. So your directions are not my thing.
Challenged.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, okay. Absolutely. And if I don't have the phone and if I don't have directions, I'm not good. I mean, I almost got lost. I almost got lost going out of the Ford Ice Center when I was leaving today. Wow. It's not good.
Bill,
sorry.
Are you listening to this?
I am.
What are your thoughts?
I was surprised Kelly had never been to Bellevue. I mean, I was stunned. I've
never been there.
Zimbabwe. I mean,
I couldn't believe it.
I mean, I felt like I was trying to find Al Jazeera network somewhere.
He acts like we're sending him to Qatar.
Yeah.
Which I used to play guitar years ago.
Hey, Ford Ice Center's it's a nice place.
Beautiful place, isn't it?
I just put in Ford Ice Center in my phone, and it took me to and I didn't think about anything. I just saw an address. I went there. I went inside, and I couldn't find you. You told me to go on the second floor. I was on the second floor, and I'm like, I have no clue where you are, George. I mean, things were looking a little familiar, but I thought, like, is he in a room somewhere or something? I didn't know.
Out in Antioch. Well, that's
out in Antioch, baby. That's lovely.
Billy, here's some of the places that he's acted like we sent him. Zimbabwe, Qatar, Ethiopia, the Netherlands.
It's funny. He's from Fayetteville. He acts like Bellevue is, not middle of nowhere, but foreign land.
Boston. Do you have an update?
Didn't know where it was.
I do, George.
This will be exciting.
We start with Nashville SC.
Yes,
Tough
I was
loss
there last night. They hit
Philadelphia beat them bad.
They hit the crossbar about 3 different times. Not that I'm a hockey expert, but that officiating crew had some real issues.
Yeah, I heard some bad things about the officiating.
It was
What's
not
the
good
deal with it?
I would describe it as bad.
Even for a non-soccer fan like you?
Yeah,
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know how to tell if it was bad or not.
Oh, I think you would. I think you'd catch on pretty quick.
Like offsides calls? Or,
no, I don't mean like that. I'm talking about, when one person mangles another and, their body parts out there and move on.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Greg Sankey, SEC commissioner, has agreed to a contract extension that'll keep him in his post through at least 2028. This is his 9th year as commissioner, and of course with SEC Media Days here in Nashville next week. Decent timing for old Greg to talk all about his extension next week. But he deserves it.
Good for him.
How much is he getting paid? Do we know?
Not sure. I just know it's through 2028. So.
If we were going to guess, $3 to $4 million a year.
Yeah, probably pretty handsomely.
Yeah. It's good scratch.
He's making more than we are. Is that right, George?
Oh my goodness. Yes.
Maybe by a little.
Yes.
Yeah. Victoria Bowles, this is some Georgia football news, who survived the fatal car wreck that killed a Georgia football player and recruiting staffer in January, has filed a lawsuit against the UGA Athletic Association and Eagles rookie Jalen Carter, who was accused of racing the SUV behind being driven by a recruiting staffer when it wrecked. The lawsuit is accusing the UGA Athletic Association of negligence and contradicts public statements by Kirby Smart and other officials who have claimed that recruiting staffer Chandler LaCroix shouldn't have been driving the leased SUV when it left the road and struck trees and utility poles. So there's a lot going on in that story.
Yeah, it's sad. Georgia football's got some traffic issues.
Sure do.
They need to slow down a little bit.
Credit to the AJC for being all over this story, though. Without them, it probably doesn't get reported at all. Meanwhile, former LSU head coach Ed Orgeron would have interest in coaching at Northwestern, but has not yet heard from the school.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he hasn't heard from Northwestern yet. He played defensive line at Northwestern State in Louisiana in college. So,
well, that certainly qualifies him.
I thought that I heard Northwestern State. I didn't know it was in Louisiana.
Yeah.
But so we'll see if Ed Orgeron has any chances of getting that job.
Guy's won a national title.
Sure has.
I'm not sure he would fit in at Northwestern, though.
Yeah,
I'm not sure he would either. That first team meeting when he opens that shirt up and says, if anybody wants a piece of me, come get it.
Chase Burns has landed at Wake Forest.
Yeah.
Former Tennessee pitcher, headed to the ACC. Interesting move. I heard Georgia was in the mix late, but he ends up choosing Wake Forest, a team that was in the College World Series last year. So,
well, why do you think Vandy was not in the mix?
I don't think they were as interested as maybe some other schools.
Okay.
I think LSU was a school similar to Vandy that sort of just said, you know what, we're not negotiating with you. We're not, we're done. I think they made their pitch and they didn't want to talk anymore. If he came, he came. If not, whatever. So, but he's a heck of a pitcher. He's going to be one of the best pitchers in the country next year. So we'll see how he does at Wake Forest. Rory McIlroy, back in the news. Scottish Open is underway. He's playing well. Liv Golf's hope was that Rory and Tiger would play in their league someday.
Yeah. Fat chance.
Rory McIlroy had this to say about that. If Liv Golf was the last place to play golf on earth, I would retire.
Oh, wow.
That's how I feel about
Rory.
it. I'd play the majors, but I'd be pretty comfortable.
That a boy, Rory.
I love Rory.
I like it. I like it. Nice.
Score him some brownie points.
Oh yeah.
Would that be our update?
That's all I got. George.
Okay. So, Kelly, while you try to figure out exactly where on your GPS Bellevue is, we will interview Coach Herm Edwards, who I have a feeling will want to hear this story about how badly you screwed this up.
It's okay, man. It doesn't matter. You can broadcast it everywhere. It doesn't matter.
Really?
Yeah,
You're awfully smug about it.
That stuff doesn't bother me, George. It really doesn't. I messed up. I was sweating in the car though because I was late and I wanted to fight you at some point. I didn't want to fight you at some point, but then hey, I got over that. I'm like, where is this place? I know. Where is this place at?
If you were sweating, you need to turn on the AC. Quit being a cheapskate.
I did have.
You've made a
I
ton
did
of
have
money.
on the AC. I did have on the AC, and I was still sweating because I was about to beat the steering wheel to death.
Herm is listening to all this, and he's laughing. I just got to report that to you. He thinks this is hilarious. We will bring him up. It'll be good to have him back in as we get closer to football season. The great Herm Edwards is in the on-deck circle. He'll want to hear about Kelly's issues with, shall we say, transportation. All of that and more when we come back. Stay tuned. Kelly, don't you ever forget, this is the George Plaster Show.
Oh, I can't.
How am I going to get to work? My car's totaled.
Skylar, our team is making a call right now. We'll get you a rental car. Don't worry.
That's a relief.
Call us 24/7. We're here. We're going to help.
Year number 2 of the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night was awesome. And the reason is really simple. I chose Strike and Spare, and they were amazing. They have great food, great bowling, and a staff that is truly ready to go the extra mile to help you. They have 5 family fun centers in the area to choose from. And for more info, go to strikeandspare.com or call them at 615-824-5685.
You can't see the sights without the sounds. From the crack of the bat to the roar of the crowd and everything in between, discover what Hit City has to offer. Spend your nights cheering on the Nashville Sounds at First Horizon Park with giveaways, fireworks shows, theme weekends, and more. Single game tickets are on sale now. Visit NashvilleSounds.com to claim your seat today.
So who said I can't be a golfer? Well, you know what? This is X Golf, located just down the road from the Fordyce Center in Bellevue. This is fun. It'll improve your golf game, and you need to stop in and check it out. 8138 Sawyer Brown Road, and who knows, I may get to 200 before it's all over. Okay, let's get right out to the West Coast. I saw Herm laughing throughout not only some of our discussion earlier, but I think when I hit the golf club in the commercial, he really was laughing.
Hey, Kelly, you got it now. You got it, because I would have suggested, George, don't swing the club, just putt. And then people really don't know. But when you took that golf swing, oh boy,
bad.
And the problem I have with it is last week I was out here for the Women's U.S. Open because it's right down the street. So to watch those women swing a golf club and then to watch George talk about do a simulator and hit one. George, tell him to redo the commercial. Only putt, George. Only putt.
Hey, the day that he did that, Herm,
yeah,
he only hit his drive 150 yards. I'm like, Good luck.
Well-
You got old guys out driving you, George.
So you got him,
Don't
Kelly.
do it.
You got him. Don't let him dig you, man. Don't let him dig you. Just be the quarterback. Don't let him dig you. Just kind of.
We asked him to be out here at the Fordyce Center in Bellevue. Now, Kelly lives in Murfreesboro, about 25, 30 minutes from Nashville.
Okay.
But you would have thought that we had asked him to go to Zimbabwe. It was
the traffic?
No, he didn't know where the hell he was going.
It was so far out there, Herm. It was so far out there that my phone just kicked off, and I didn't know what I was doing. I had to call Billy. So what do you want me to do?
I'm same way. I'm same way. So I'm bad with directions. So
yeah, but you're
terrible.
not that bad. You cannot be that bad. So, Herm, let me start with this. And I don't know if you ever dealt with it or not, but when you were a coach, were you ever asked to host Hard Knocks?
Yeah, we hosted it. We did it when I was in Kansas City.
Talk to us about what would be good and what would be bad.
It's not bad. It's just cameras are with you all the time, and basically, you as a coach, when they're in there, you can tell them, "Hey, look, don't use this," right? So you have the ability to tell them what they can use, what they cannot use. But the problem is the cameras are there like 24/7. Now, the next problem is this. Once the team knows that, all these wannabe stars, they always want to do something in front of the camera. And I told them in the beginning, I said, "Hey, man, look, you're the backup guy. Don't all of a sudden think you're a Pro Bowl player and start acting silly in practice, doing stuff, right? Because they all want to be on camera. They think, and they shoot so much tape, and then they boil it down to a series of how long it's going to last. And a lot of these guys are cut out. But I'm telling them, man, don't do nothing silly. Don't just to be on television. Don't do nothing silly. That's the worst thing. It's just keeping the players from silliness."
Did they get you? I would think one of the toughest things would be when you have to call a player in
to cut
him. Do they film that?
Yeah, they do. But look, and Kelly knows this, the hardest guys to get rid of are the veteran guys, the old veteran guys, right? Because they've been in your organization. You know their families, you know their kids. That's always the tough one. But a lot of veterans, when they come to camp, some of them already know, right? They kind of know, this might be it for me. And then they know who you drafted. They know who you selected in free agency. So they've got a feeling, but it's always tough to let a veteran guy go. That's the tough one. That was always a tough one for me.
Okay, what's been going on this week with this whole Northwestern stuff and the hazing. You've been in the college game. I know you've got some thoughts. I simply want to hear them.
Well, that's a shame because Coach has done it. Coach is there 26 years. I've known Coach a long time. And, there's always two sides to the story. And whoever can tell the story the longest obviously gets more attention than anybody else. You hate to see this. You hate to see now coaches, going back at the school. And, that just becomes more conversations. Everybody's going to weigh in on this. But I would say this, he did a really nice job with that program. It's from the program. I mean, he spent 26 years at a university that you played at. He was an assistant coach there, a head coach, did a lot of good things there. And I'm just hoping, they find some good way to settle it. And, it just gets out of there because once it gets to where it's at now, everybody's got an opinion. Everybody's talking about it, and it's like, and Kelly knows this. There's certain things that we always say as coaches and players, certain things we do here, it stays here when we leave here, and it's just, that's not the case anymore. It's just not, because of the ability the young people used to having phones, or athlete gets mad now and feels like I got to say something. And I'm not saying wrong, people are doing wrong. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm just saying when you're in that family environment, and that's what football is about. It's about a family environment, with coaches and players. I mean, there's a lot of things that sometimes are said in anger or done in anger. And it's just, you lost your temper and it goes away. But this is one of those deals you hate to see it for a guy that's done a really good job there, had done a really good job of that program.
So let me ask it this way, because having been around Vandy's program for a long time, having once been their announcer and having gone to school there, barely got in, barely got out, Herm, does this guarantee over the next 3 years that Northwestern football is going to be in a free fall?
It's difficult because, as you know, the season's around the corner, and now you make this change. Obviously, they're going to promote a guy within. That helps. But, how do the players look at it? How do the players take it, right? In any recruit now, it's kind of that you're recruiting going into the next season. All of a sudden, they're like, oh, wait a minute. And that becomes a problem because now they will know who's going to be the head coach. So all those things, it happens. That's part of it. But with that being said, you play with the guys you got, and you're going to coach with the coaches you have. And I'm hoping that coach that takes over has some success. And maybe, and he's going to be coaching to say, hey, man, if I do a good job, maybe I can be the head coach, right? But it's upsetting to the players. It's always upsetting to the players, more than you can imagine, and they understand, hey, okay. In pro football, NFL guys know, coaches get fired, coaches, leave or whatever, whether assistant coach or head coach, it's professional football. And players know, coaches get fired, players get fired. It's always hard, though, when you have relationships with people.
Okay, here's one I want to hit you with, because, look, you and I have known each other a pretty good while now. Yeah. I would consider you a straight shooter.
Yes, sir.
You have always shot me straight. When we hear stuff like, well, the head coach didn't know.
Right.
Herm, you've just left that arena, that college arena.
Mm-hmm.
And you got 100 kids that you're supposed to be not only a head coach, but somewhat of a father figure at times too. Can a head coach know everything? What is fair? Because you've been there and I haven't. What's fair?
Well, let me ask you this. It's just like the president of a corporation. He can't be in every room. He can't be in every meeting. It's impossible. You can't do it. You're dealing with 115 athletes, and you're dealing with 20 coaches. You're dealing with trainers. You're dealing with all kinds of people, and you try to create an environment where they understand what the culture is. Do coaches make mistakes? Yeah, but it's just you always want to know if something's happening. You trust them to know that. You're not a coach you can't be in all the rooms. It's impossible. And this is why you hire good coaches, to trust them. And if something goes awry from what your philosophy is, you're hoping that someone will come tell you so you can tell that person, whoever it may be, hey, look, we don't do that around here. We're not going, that's not part of our program. So that's what you're hoping, and it's very difficult. You can't be in all those rooms at one time. You don't have enough time in the day. You can't do it. It's impossible.
So
but you get the blame, George. You get the blame. I mean, you're the head coach. When things happen, it's like, hey, man, that's the way. It's like, well, it's your program. If you didn't know, that's your fault. And coaches get it. When you get hired on, you understand that. And that's why you're hoping that people on your staff have your best interest in mind as well. And they protect you. And they let you know when things are happening. Right?
Does the 25-year-old GA, because he is closer to those players' age, does he know more than you do?
Absolutely. And this is why you're always talking to him. You're always visiting with that guy. How are my guys doing? And there's certain players. There's a checklist about, between 10 and 15 guys that when you recruited them, hey, look, they need some special attention, right? And, and whether I get them during the day or whenever, I make sure I see them. And I ask them this one question all the time. How we living? That's all I say to them. How we living? And they look at you. And then they go, and they give you, and they say, no, how you living? How's everything? Right? So you try to you try to make sure you touch the players. That's your job. You try to touch the players, try to touch the coaches. Look, and I said this many times, George, when you're a problem solver. When you walk into work every day, there's five issues you deal with. You never saw them coming. 115 guys, you got a staff of 30. You think somebody don't have a problem? Every day. Every day. It's like every day. And so that's what you deal with. But that's what you sign on to do as well. Besides being a football coach, you got these other things. You just got just people issues that people deal with every day. You got to have answers for that.
This is my suspicion from far away. The fun meter for coaches has gone way down.
Ooh. With this new world these college coaches are living in, yeah, it's hard.
And it's
really hard.
Way down, isn't it?
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. It's hard. When money becomes part of the deal, it becomes hard, right? Because then the loyalty, all this other stuff, I want to play at your program, I love the school. Pro football, you get it, it's free agency. You get it. Okay, pro football. We understand that. But there's a salary cap in pro football. Think about that. There's a salary cap in pro football. There's no salary cap in college football. How about that?
Just ask the University of Texas.
No cap.
Kelly, he was embarrassed by my golf swing as well.
Oh.
We're all embarrassed by your golf swing, George. It's really bad.
Thank you,
I would
Kelly.
never pick up a golf club again either if I were you. That's just me.
But Kelly, we know this, Kelly, and you've seen this. You play golf with, some guys a little bit older, they hit it about 200 yards. And you're laughing on the first tee. And after five holes, you're 4 over, and them dudes are like even par. And you're going, how's this dude?
Oh, absolutely. I know. I play with guys like that.
Every time. Hit it straight every time. Right?
So I talked to my man Tom Moore the other day.
Yes.
And I was asking him about well, the first thing he said to me when I got on the phone, he said, "Are you cleaning out your above ground pool, son?" And I said, why do you have to go there, Tom? Why do you have to do that? I was congratulating him for being a contributor to the NFL. He got inducted into the Hall of Fame, which is a cool deal. He's a contributor. Yep. It was a cool deal. But I was asking him about all this stuff that's going on in college with the NIL and the transfer portal. And, I'd just like to hear your thoughts on it, because he said it's going to kill the game. It's going to kill the game of college football, he felt like. And when you got a kid that he's in a competition with somebody, but he felt like he got treated wrongly and he lost the competition and he transfers to somewhere else. And then maybe he's got a chance to go to the NFL. Like, where does all that, it seems like the product on the field in the NFL is kind of going to go down in the next 5 or 6 years to me.
Well, I think you got to do more research on the players you draft, especially with their ability to transfer. Now, I don't think that's always a bad thing, because sometimes you get into personalities with coaches. But as you know, when money gets involved, it's okay, what does this look like? And I just think, eventually it'll find its way, like all things do. They just find its way. I do believe, there'll probably be 40 big time teams. You see all these teams all of a sudden now trying to get to conferences, right? And build these super conferences, because they understand, look, and college presidents, they understand, look, we're under siege right now. We have to make money for the university, for the athletic programs, right? For all programs, because it's not just football and baseball and basketball, it's women's sports as well. So how do we generate money? Well, if TV generates money, we know that. And so when you can go to a big program or a big conference that generates enough money, regardless of, you might have a rivalry game that you really like that's been going on for 20 years, 25 years. Let me tell you something. the money always wins, and because you're under this pressure of we got to get money in, generate money into our program, right? And so that becomes a little bit of it. And I just think you might see like an East Conference, a West Conference, a Midwest Conference. All these teams are what? They're going to 14, 16, 12 teams. I mean, that's a lot of teams. That's a lot of football teams. Now, the competition will be pretty good because you got a lot of good teams there. There's no like you want to play a smaller school. That school will make some money, right? But also you can get a lot of your players to play. That's not going to be the deal anymore. You're going to be in a conference where all these games count. It's going to be like the NFL.
Yeah.
There ain't no layup.
That's really what it is. Yeah.
Right? It's going to be like the NFL. There ain't no the preseason's a layup. Okay, we play preseason games. But college football doesn't have preseason games. That's when you make the schedule of, we'll play a smaller school. We'll get this school some money. They'll come to us. I can play my seconds and my thirds and get them some reps. That ain't happening when this thing keeps going the way it's going.
Well, with what you're saying, Mike Gundy yesterday came out and talked about the OU Ohio or Oklahoma State game that's been 110 years that they played, and he's like, we're not the ones that are going to the SEC. They're the ones that's going to the SEC. So that's that rivalry game is going to be history.
Yeah, and here again, what wins? Rivalry,
money, baby.
Money took it.
Money. That's right.
Money.
College coaches. George talked about the no fun zone right now, especially with the gambling and then with what's come out at Northwestern. Do you set your team down at the beginning of training camp and hash these things out before it even starts?
You do, and every coach does that. They all do that. But look, you can't, they have access to on their phone. How do you figure all that out? You can't. People do what they do, and you're hoping you give them enough information to say, man, that's you don't want to do that. We say, you can't gamble, they can't bet on their own team. I get all that, but it's so easy for them to do it. They don't have to go in the casino or somewhere. They can do it right off their phone. I mean. And I know why. I know why people don't want that. I get why they don't want that. I understand, because sports is sacred. You want it to be competition. That's what you want to see, true competition. You don't want to see a team going, oh, wait a minute now, that don't look right? You don't want that. That's bad. No one wants that. But that's what they're worried about, and I understand that.
Well, and another thing, Coach, is what I talked about to George about the gambling thing. And you've been in it too now. You've been in the NFL, and I've seen being on planes. I've been right next to the guys that were gambling.
They're playing cards.
They're playing cards. I mean, they've been doing it forever. They've been gambling forever, and now they've suspended 12 guys. It seems like they're taking money from Sportsbook and DraftKings and all this, but now they're trying to crack down on something that's been very prevalent in the National Football League forever.
Oh, listen, I take you further back than that. I can remember my era. They would tell you on the offseason, if you're an NFL player, don't go to Vegas. Don't see you gambling. They don't want to see you gambling in Vegas. And I laugh now. I go, how many sports teams, professional teams they got in Vegas now?
Seriously, I mean, that's why all the guys wanted to go to Vegas. I remember so many guys of my teammates going to Vegas on the off week. They were all going to Vegas.
Yeah, scared to death. When you're in the casino, says the gambler's on us, man. You can't gamble. You can walk in there, but you can't get. They say you can go, but we don't really want you to gamble. Oh, okay. You can go see shows, but you can't gamble. And now I look at it. They got an NBA team there. They got an NFL team there. The baseball team up here, they're going there too. And I'm like, okay, I get it. But they gamble.
That's true. I told George this is really funny because when I was getting older in my profession, in my career, I can remember walking into the locker room and guys were shooting craps during media time at lunchtime. It happened all the time.
I'm telling you, on the back of that airplane, when I used to ride with the Eagles, they had some of the. Now I don't gamble. I don't want to lose a buck. That's how I am. I won't even bet a buck.
No, me too.
But I would sit back there, and them cats was having a good old time, man. And it was unbelievable, And they were gambling the per diem money. Because you didn't get the per diem when you go on the road.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
So
that's
you
right.
go west, you get some extra money because you're going west. And it was the per diem money. It was if you could win like $20, it was like from a guy who was like, man, that's a lot of money. You were happy, right? They were gambling their per diem money.
Well, I don't know. I don't know how they're going to. I mean, you can find somebody on every team, every day doing something. Every league. And I don't know how you fix that. So I don't. I'm not sure how you do that. But hey, talking about, let me ask you one more question about the Hard Knock stuff.
Yes.
I know that you said that this is off limits, but was it truly off limits? If you told those guys this was off limits, is it truly, or did you ever get burned by that?
No,
by
they don't
putting
burn
something
you.
on that you
They're
didn't
really
want?
good. They do a good job. They don't burn you.
Okay.
They won't burn you. But you gotta look at everything. And you always, I was always conscious of this, is when things were happening. If I was in a meeting with the staff and you start talking about players and it kind of went a different way, it got personal with a coach or something, I'd look at those guys and go, hey man, you can't use that. Don't use that one. That's got to be cut. And then what happens is they actually let you see what they're going to produce before it goes on. And you can sign off on it. So they're not trying to, because they know, there's some things said that you don't want players to hear. You don't want anybody to hear. That's for the coaches to hear only, right? And so they do a good job. I mean, it's just, but you got cameras, man. As soon as you wake up, you got the camera on you, man. And it's going. And the head coach, it's on you wherever you go, man. You got a microphone. And when you walk in, it's funny after about the third day because the players are looking at you go, Coach, you hot? You hot? And that means the mic on. And you shaking your head. I'm hot, boys. I'm hot. Watch what you say.
I've always wondered that if anybody ever got burned with that. So that's good. That's good to know.
They do you know what? And I like it in this sense. And I was okay with it because I said, you know what? This is good for a fan to see how difficult it is to be a professional athlete.
Yeah.
It's easy on Sunday when they watch it. But all the stuff they got to do and how smart they are when they come in the classroom and what's asked of them, how they study. Fans don't see that. They just see the guys playing and how coaches coach. To me, that's what I enjoy the most. Let them open the curtain and go, oh, they really do that. Yeah. How much time these guys put, how much reading time there is, especially in pro football. College football is a little bit different. There's an hour requirement you have. In pro football, man, look at it. There ain't no hours, brother. You just go.
No.
You know how to. You just go, man. And,
absolutely.
And the coaches, and all of a sudden they see what's really funny for fans. At 12 o'clock at night, you're having your staff meeting to go over the next practice the next day. Yeah. And so, you're up at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. And then you go into bed and look, wake up calls at 6:30. Breakfast is at 7. You're doing that in camp. It's interesting.
So I want both of you to know that while you all were having your discussion, I have gotten over the criticism of my golf game. Now, I was scarred, but I've gotten over it within 8 minutes.
George, you're not really scarred because it's bad, dude.
We do the commercial and just tell them, hey, you could George, I can get you something now. You could sell putters. So I really like this putter. It's really helped my game. It's just putt. No one will know.
Okay, I want to close this out.
That's good. That's good.
Herm, in your wildest dreams, is DeAndre Hopkins a Titan?
He could be. I don't know what he's waiting on. The money's the money. No one's going to give him a ransom full of money. I just think he has to feel comfortable. I'm trying to figure out, does he want to be the number one?
Yeah.
Or is being a number one more important than going to a playoff potential team? That's what I don't know.
Kelly,
and how many teams are really interested in it?
Give him your theory on why this is taking so long.
Because he don't want to go to training camp. He wants to miss as much training camp as he can. But it's not very hard nowadays. When I came into the league with Lenny and Fonte, it was 5 weeks of training camp, and I hated every minute of it. But now it's so easy.
Yeah,
he's just trying to miss a little training camp. But my whole thing is, Coach, is this. What you said is what I've been saying every time we bring up DeAndre Hopkins. Do you want to be a number one, or can you bring your ego down to just go after a ring? And the reason that I think that would be so intriguing for him to play with the Titans is he can come in and be the number one guy. Plus, he can help all these young guys be a professional.
But I think if he looks at the Titans, he's got to ask himself this question. Where are they right now? Are they in a rebuilding mode? They have a quarterback situation there where if Tannehill doesn't start off well, he's going to be playing with a rookie quarterback.
Yep,
that's true. It's a run-based offense. It's a run-based offense.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Does
another
he want
one.
to be in that? They haven't said it, but they're in a rebuilding mode. This is a team. They're older players, a little bit older. You're paying them a lot of money, and it's like, okay, he'd be another old guy going there. It's like, okay, wait a minute now. Do I want to just be here one and done? Do I get 2 more years out of this? What is he looking for? And I don't know that. I don't know what he's looking for. Only he knows what he's looking for. But the Titans, to me, if he got nowhere else to go, I guess. But I said it long ago. You guys asked me this a month ago.
Oh, sure.
Go to the Patriots.
So, Herm, here's what I've got. The next time you come to Nashville,
yes, sir,
you and I will go to the putt-putt.
Putt-putt.
And then we'll go to Jimmy Kelly.
Oh, yeah. I'm all in. I'm all in. I'm all in.
Well, guess what? Guess what? George is talking a lot right now, but he's not going to pay for Jimmy Kelly's, all right? You'd have to pay, Herm.
Well, no, Jimmy's, when I show up, Jimmy's good. Jimmy's just eats the bill. So George knows that. See, George is taking me to get a free meal because Jimmy ain't charging me. So George already knows. I take Coach. They're gonna be so happy Coach is in there. He'll probably talk to the people at the, in the place, and it's a free speaking engagement.
Did I not pay for the last one?
No.
Exactly, George. You can't fool me.
That's the only way George is taking me there, knowing I'm gonna get a free meal out of it.
You can't fool me, Hoss.
Come on, man.
Can't do it, dude.
Oh, you are a piece of work. You've just thrown me under the bus.
No, man, it's all amongst friends. It's all.
I know it is. I got to go back and check my American Express card or whatever it is.
Go check it.
I'll do that. Herm, you have a good one. You are a blast to have on.
Appreciate you both. Talk to you guys later.
See you, brother.
All right,
he is the best. Love having him on. Got a great
He is good.
humor. So what he's saying, Kelly, is this, that when the bill came, there was some of this going on.
Oh, yeah, little alligator arms. That's what happens when you go across the middle and you don't want to get hit by the safety. Alligator arms.
Oh, yeah. Okay, let's go to the break, and we'll talk a little Big Machine Music City Grand Prix.
And real quick, George, announcement for the national anthem there.
Let's hear it.
Carly Pierce.
Nice.
Very, very good country music singer. So they've got the stars out August 4th through the 6th.
This group that markets this product, they have made a lot of really good moves. So the race you see in the background, the weekend of August the 4th through the 6th, and the tickets are now on sale, and they have been for a while. You can go to musiccitygp.com. You can start as low as general admission. You can go to some really high level of amenities if you so desire. And you can now go with one-day ticket. Pick a day and go, as opposed to the full 3 days, depending on what your schedule may be. Again, musiccitygp.com. These folks know how to market.
Family owned and operated for more than 2 decades, Alaco Fine Wood Floors is Nashville and Middle Tennessee's choice for premium quality hardwood floors. Since 1995, Jimmy Alaco and his army of employees have embodied the approach of taking pride in one's craft and providing superior customer service, growing from a one-man shop to a team of 23 professionals who share the founder's passion for quality craftsmanship and customer satisfaction. If you are interested in contacting them, you can find their headquarters at 2505 Winford Avenue in Berry Hill, or give them a call at 615-356-0303. Again, that's 615-356-0303, or log on to alacofinewoodfloors.com. Alaco Fine Wood Floors, serving Middle Tennessee's hardwood flooring needs since 1995.
For over 35 years, Wilson Bank & Trust has been committed to providing customized banking solutions to help individuals, families, and businesses in Tennessee achieve their goals. As your full-service community bank, we are proud to offer loans with competitive rates, local decision-making, and fast, friendly service from our experienced lenders. No matter where you are on your financial journey, Wilson Bank & Trust is ready to help you take the next step. Visit your nearest Wilson Bank & Trust office or online at wilsonbank.com to get started today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
As the trusted premier custom home builder in Middle Tennessee, Donnelly Timmons has over 20 years of experience in the industry. Whether you're looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and every remodel is unique, luxurious, and completed on time within budget. Founders Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly have over 25 years of construction experience in the Nashville area. Together, they have completed projects in Forest Hills, Oak Hill, Green Hills, Franklin, and Brentwood. Dustin and Joey believe that communication is the most important aspect of all construction projects. Therefore, they personally manage each project themselves and are involved in job site activities on a daily basis. Their commitment to quality and integrity has earned them an outstanding reputation among their clients. Contact them to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects. Give them a call at 615-456-7983 or log on to DonnellyTimmons.com.
At Baird, we have a different slant on global financial advice. That global capabilities mean nothing without personal attention. We have investor relationships in 35 countries and market expertise in over 40 industry verticals, all to help make the most important investment connections of all, yours. Global financial advice with a client-first approach. It's the shape of things to come. Discover the Baird difference at BairdDifference.com.
Hey, do us a favor. If you've got a friend who's a sports fan, make sure he sees that, or he or she sees that Herm Edwards interview. That was hilarious. It also has some very good info to it. Kelly, how much do you also worry? I know there are things in the game of football you really care about and you worry about. I worry that good coaches are eventually, even though the money is terrific at the highest levels, they're not having any fun. And ultimately, some good people are going to get out of this business.
I think you're absolutely right. The Tom Moores and all those guys. I mean, Tom Moore's 85 years old. He's still a consultant, whatever that means, for the Tampa Bay Bucks. I always bust his chops about that. I said, "Can I get your job?" And he said, "No, they wouldn't have you, son." But that's the reason that I got into coaching, George. It really was. I never, when I finished playing, I did radio for Middle and I did some TV stuff on Thursday Night Lights and all that. And I got back into it because from outside looking in, guys are not getting taught like the fundamentals like I got taught when I was playing at Lincoln County High School, or when I came to Middle and I was with my quarterback coach there, who was really fundamentally sound. I can remember having, which I did not like, but I had to get up at 5:30 in the morning earlier than that, and I had to be over at the Murphy Center having a meeting at 5:30, and then at 6:30 we were on the field. Now, let you know, practice didn't start till 8, so I was on the field at 6:30 when the dew was on the ground. But that's what made me who I was and what I became, and what got me to the National Football League to play for so long. I worry about that as well, George, because I don't think the good coaching it's leaving. I worry about young kids being in that, because nowadays you get coaches and all they think about is running plays. They don't teach a kid, like, there's a certain way that a guard pulls and you want him to kick the end. Well, you can't tell him, hey, you're pulling on this and you're kicking that guy right there. Well, okay, I'm kicking him, but how am I supposed to do that? Am I supposed to do a right shoulder right, or am I supposed to log? What am I supposed to do? And that kind of gets lost in the shuffle nowadays, George. And like I said, I worry about football, where it's heading, where it's going, because of all the numbers that are down. But the coaching is certainly down as well. Everybody wants to go to all these clinics and do all that stuff. And I can remember my college coach saying, son, you can go to all the clinics you want to, but they're not going to tell you really what they know. And that's absolutely right. They're not going to tell you. Only reason I would go to a camp is I like to learn how other people do their practices and things like that. I got all the information, and it may be from Tom Moore and from Alex Robbins and from Bruce Arians, but that's the thing about football. It's a new age of football where everybody wants to throw the ball around, but it still comes down to fundamentals, George, where you have to block and you have to tackle. And I don't care how you try to sugarcoat that. That is what football is about. From the beginning of time when football started to the end of time when it ends, that's what it's about. It's about blocking and tackling and the fundamentals of playing the sport. And that's why I got into it. And I'm afraid that that's going by the wayside. I really am.
You brought up it's a pass happy world right now.
Yep.
And on the pro football level, the Titans are playing a different game than everybody else is. For the most part, they're playing 10 yards at a time, where a lot of the NFL teams are looking for big chunks of yardage. I always hear it's cyclical, but do you think it ever comes back at all, or is this the way it's going to be in my lifetime?
Yeah, I think it'll probably come back some, George. I don't know how much. I think everything is cyclical. I don't know. It's just that's what this society wants now. They don't want 4 yards in a cloud of dust, the old Woody Hayes days. Back then that's all they knew. But now they know something different, and they want to see offense scoring, offense making big plays. And that's one thing why the NFL is so caught up on speed, because if you give a guy, say you give a Marvin Harrison, you throw a 5-yard short into him and he takes it for 98. Well, you don't have to snap the ball again. That's the percentage. Every time you snap the ball, those pro coaches, college coaches, even high school coaches, they understand that every time you snap that ball, there's a bigger percentage of you making a mistake. That was the whole thing that Lane Kiffin's dad, Monty Kiffin, when he was at Tampa Bay, they played a 4-3 Tampa 2, where the linebacker would get deep, and they had Warren Sapp, and they had Simeon Rice, they had Booger McFarland, they had all those guys. They could get pressure on you with 4, because they say, well, hey, here's the deal. You cannot make a 16-play drive without making a major mistake and us not capitalizing on it. That's their whole deal. And when you look at the percentages, that's pretty perfect. I mean, when you start looking at stuff like that, George, that's kind of what the game is about, and the analytics come into it. I think it'll come back. I don't know how much, though, because I think that this generation wants to see offense. They want to see scoring. They want to see the guys with cannon arms throwing the ball accurate, and I don't know how much it'll come back. I think it'll come back a little bit, but not much.
What is today, Billy? July the
13th.
So we are 3 weeks from tonight, the NFL Hall of Fame game.
Yeah, they start. They start. Somebody starts next Wednesday. There's some teams starting training camp next Wednesday. So
yeah, a good
it's
chunk
here.
of them. Yeah,
I'd rather be in the
here.
Ford Ice Center.
At this point in my life, I'd rather be at 114 Spence Creek.
Gotcha.
I really would.
Okay, we're going to go to the break. Then we'll have stat of the day, and then Danny Evans will join us. A lot to talk about, including the National League finally getting the monkey off their back and beating the American League in the All-Star game. Stick around. We have plenty more coming.
Hey, thank you for meeting with me today. The insurance company has made an offer.
Already? Wow.
They've offered you the entire policy.
Thank you, Blair.
You're so welcome.
Forget the fact that Sir Speedy Music City is owned by my BGA classmate James Warren. Their work stands on its own merit. James and his staff do incredible work, as evidenced by the huge banners at the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night. If you're looking for quality to help your marketing and business communications, and you want it at a reasonable price, these are your folks. Call them at 615-832-9511 or go to print at sirspeedymusiccity.com. And be sure to tell them Plaz sent you.
You can't see the sights without the sounds. From the crack of the bat to the roar of the crowd and everything in between, discover what Hit City has to offer. Single game tickets are on sale now.
Hello, this is Celeste Middleton, a State Farm agent in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. I want to help my neighbors and local businesses be proactive and assess their risk before something unexpected happens. We want you to have a thorough understanding of your coverages to have the best protection when you need it. We can create a personal price plan for you. Our team has over 70 years of experience helping people in Middle Tennessee. We have an awesome team with integrity and provide honest and prompt communication, and we love what we do and genuinely care about everyone we work with at our office. Give us a call at 615-895-2700. Send us a message at celestemiddleton.com or walk in at our office at 803 North Thompson Lane in Murfreesboro. We would love to earn your business.
Welcome to John English Antique Sports and Cards, located at 204 East Depot Street in beautiful downtown Shelbyville, Tennessee. Their phone number is area code 931-492-4304. John, obviously, I've been blown away by what I've seen at your place. I've now been there 3 times. But for the person who's never been, what should they expect?
Well, we have a 3,000 square foot store, George. Half of it is vintage cards in all sports. And then half of the store is, a lot of people call it the museum, where there's a lot of early equipment and just the history of sports in general. Baseball, football, basketball, golf, tennis, and other items.
When somebody comes in there that you know is a big sports fan, what is their normal reaction?
Well, I think that they're pleasantly surprised, and of course, being in Shelbyville, Tennessee, which is a small town that you would never expect a shop like we have to be in. So they're kind of, I don't want to say blown away, but as I said, pleasantly surprised.
Welcome back in. 3 o'clock hour underway. It's time for Stat of the Day, brought to you by John English Antique Sports and Cards in Shelbyville, Tennessee. You can find them at 204 East Depot Street. They're open during the week, Tuesday through Friday from noon to 5, and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 5. Give them a call at 931-492-4304. All right, let's check out what we got today. We're keeping the college football train rolling, and we're going to go up to Syracuse, New York. We're 45 days away from the start of the college football season. Which college football running back led Syracuse to the 1959 national championship?
Kelly, there's Floyd.
There's a lot
Little.
of crickets. That's what there is.
There's some crickets. There's Floyd Little. There is. Didn't Jim Brown go to Syracuse?
Yeah, Jim Brown was there. Yeah, Jim Brown was a Syracuse guy. I just don't know. I'm not accustomed with the years, which could have been. I don't think it was him though. I think it was
Floyd Little.
Who was the guy after him? That also became a Cleveland Brown but passed away.
Oh, I don't know. I'm going Floyd Little, but I don't know. You want to go ahead and?
No, I can't. I can't even think of who I'm thinking about. That's who I'm thinking about. I just don't know who. I can't remember his name.
Let's see.
I'm good. Go ahead.
All right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Ernie Davis.
Ernie Davis. That was
Why
it.
did I
Gosh.
think Ernie Davis went to Army? Because that name popped into my head, and I was like,
I was going to say Ernie, and I didn't know Davis. I did not know Davis. That's who I was thinking about. Ernie Davis was the guy that was after Jim Brown.
Oh, I had Ernie Davis, and I was like, he went to Army, and I was like, ugh.
Well, that's way back there now.
Well, he was the guy that got drafted by the Cleveland Browns. He was the one after Jim Brown who ended up passing away.
Yeah,
that was him, Ernie Davis. I couldn't think of his name. I knew it was Ernie something.
I thought that was a good one going that far back.
Yeah,
nice. I like it though. I like the question.
We got a better shot.
Yeah, absolutely.
From here on out,
we're at least in the ballpark. So we don't know. Every once in a while, this will happen. Danny has such an unusual schedule that you never, first of all, with all of the baseball stuff that he does, he essentially runs the Field of Dreams in Iowa. In the last couple of years, Major League Baseball has had a game there, and Danny has absolutely killed it. So when something happens and we don't get him, I just texted him a minute ago, Billy. I don't think he told me he wasn't going to be here, but something may well have happened. So I'm going to talk a tad bit of baseball while we get into this stall, four-corner stall, if you will. So, Kelly, one of the things going on right now is this rumor has been out here for a while. Baseball trade deadline is near the end of the month. And all of a sudden, a name that is out there is Shohei Ohtani, who today, I think it's fair to say, is hands down the best player in the game. The guy got incredible stuff as a pitcher, right up there with anybody as far as home runs and RBIs. But he plays on a team, and he has all along in his major league life that has not made the playoffs. And to be honest, really hasn't sniffed the playoffs. And so the rumor is out there right now that the Angels are having to face the music being they're not going to be able to re-sign him. And maybe they've got him on the block. That's one of the things you hear right now. Now, on the flip side, I'm not giving the Angels, the whole package here unless I know I can re-sign Ohtani. And I don't know how you can make that happen. So the Angels are caught in a bad deal because those of us who hang around the game of baseball do not believe he's going to re-sign. Don't think that you can trade him and get a lot because it's such a short-term guarantee, and that ultimately he's going to end up a Dodger or a Yankee or, name the big market team.
Yeah, it looks like that. I just saw something where it's funny that I was just reading that about Shohei. He said that the Yanks might be the biggest buyer. So, I don't know. I mean, you look at his numbers, George. I mean, his numbers are crazy. I mean, He's got 100. He's got 226 total bases, a 663 slugging percentage. He's got a 3.32 ERA when he pitches. I mean, the guy's pretty unbelievable. He's got 32 home runs, 6 triples. He can run. Probably the best. Of course, they got Mike Trout on the team too, but he's probably the best all-around player in the game of baseball. And I don't know. So you don't think that they could get? Did you just say that you don't think they could get much for him, or is this kind of like a Herschel Walker deal where, they trade him away to get a lot of stuff?
Kelly, here's the reason I don't think they can get a lot, because he's essentially a rental player. Let's say that I will make up one, the Astros. Okay, let's say the Astros say, with Yordan Alvarez out, we're not scoring a lot of runs, so let's go get Ohtani for 2 months. Well, at the end of the year, the Astros' odds of being able to re-sign him are not very good. So you're basically trading for a player for 2 months. Now, that player might be good enough to take the Astros from shaky stuff right now to serious, American League pennant contender. And that's what you're dealing with.
Yeah, and I think he could do that for you. Obviously, with his talent. It's just when is the trade deadline? Is it August the 1st? Is that what it is?
I don't know the exact date, but it's right around then. It's near the end of July.
I got you. So what about the Braves? Are they going to go after him or no?
The trade deadline is August 1st.
Is it really?
Okay, August 1st.
Okay.
Yeah.
Braves.
Yeah, no Bravos.
No.
Yeah, no.
Well, an interesting question. I know, obviously, the Braves are the talk right now, but the Padres are an interesting team. They've got a 29% chance of making the postseason right now, according to FanGraphs, a pretty reliable site, and they've got a 41-46 record, and they've got a lot of talent. They're starting to play a lot better. And Juan Soto, after the All-Star game, was asked about, hey, what do you think? Do you guys need help right now? Right? Could you use another player? He said, yeah, I mean, another player wouldn't hurt, but I think we've got everything we need right now. So it's interesting how the perspective of a player, as the deadline approaches, as opposed to maybe a GM, who could be thinking something totally different.
Well,
it's just like I'm intrigued to see what the Padres do.
San Diego's an embarrassment. That locker room ought to be ashamed for the talent they have. Of what they have produced in the first half is a joke. It's an absolute joke.
Yeah, with the talent that has been on the roster for the past 2 or 3 years.
But I also think they have some dogs on that roster.
Yeah, Tatis.
I'm not a big Tatis fan. I'm not a big Manny Machado fan. Soto, since he has gone over there, in Washington, he was one of the 2 or 3 best hitters in baseball. In San Diego, not that he's been a disgrace, but he's been fairly pedestrian.
Yeah, Major League Baseball is kind of starting to feel a little bit like the NBA in terms of the superstars. Tatis, Acuna, and that's the NFL a little bit too. But the NFL, there's so many stars that you get a good mix of some guys that aren't me guys, all about me. Look at my jewelry, stuff like that. But Shohei Ohtani is the opposite. He could care less. He could care less about the popularity, the fame. I'm sure he'd like some money, but again, he's not money hungry. What we've heard from Danny Evans. So I think it's interesting. The star he is. He's not like a lot of the other stars. My
gut feeling, without being there, without knowing anything, I think San Diego's got a bad locker room. What they have done in the first half is disgraceful for what it is they have on that roster.
Yeah, I mean, they're
did all those guys that went to the Padres, did they all get a good payday to go to the Padres? Obviously.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. That's what I'm saying. I mean,
a lot of money.
money sometimes is. We've talked about it with Danny. I mean, that's what makes talking to him so good. But the expectations sometimes, and then some guys that have played for a while and they get that big payday. Well, I mean, you can't tell them much. And if they have a bad day, so what, man? I'm going to the bank. I still getting my money. I'm not worried about it. And it kind of gets that. If you don't have good charactered guys, George, you can fall into that trap very easily.
So here's a story that got out yesterday. Billy, if you will, put up the picture of the Oakland Coliseum. Okay, the Coliseum always looks beautiful because it's sunny. But everybody who's been, I've never been there, just say it's a rat hole.
I've been there.
Yeah, not very pretty, is it?
No, it is not.
The sunshine masks what is going on there. Well, okay, we have all thought now for, I don't know, 6-8 weeks, the A's are going to Vegas. Out of nowhere, a couple of days ago, the Oakland mayor, and it's a woman, and I don't have her name in front of me. She requested a meeting with baseball commissioner Rob Manfred, and she has this big book that, showing all of the, not good faith negotiations. And she wants all the owners to know what it is she's been dealing with. And I'm kind of sitting there thinking, and this is a little cynical on my end. Hello, you're a little late to the party. This meeting with this commissioner should have happened 2 months ago. The toothpaste is out of the whatever
container.
Thank you. I mean, right. I just was like, when I read the story yesterday, and Manfred granted her the meeting, which he should. He needs to find out what it is she's got, because the fact of it is, Oakland and the A's in this stadium have been an issue as long as I have been a sports talk show host, and that's a long time. I was young.
I can remember I can remember when the A's were really good, when they had Jose Canseco and was it Dave Parker and all those guys out there.
They had Tony La Russa as their man.
Ricky Henderson, all those guys. They had a really good ball club, and that seems like one of the last times that they've been even good. It's been a while. So
I'm just mystified as to why now. Okay, for 6 weeks, this team's been on a collision course to go to Vegas. And suddenly at the All-Star break, she pops in with I want to meet with the commissioner, and good for him that he met with her. But I'm like, hello, day late, dollar short, maybe like $1 billion short. I don't know. I mean, I have no idea whether this allows the opportunity for Oakland to get back in. I don't know what it is she proposed, but just on the surface, seems a little late in the game.
Well, just like we always talk about, George, and what Herm just talked about, it's all about money. And I can't see you making money out in Oakland like that. I can see when you go to Vegas, there's going to be a lot of things there, and people don't. At this point, it seems like it's going to be hard to get free agents to Oakland, California, to play for the Oakland A's. But if you give them a change of scenery, and you go to Vegas, there's a lot of people want to go to Vegas, want to live in Vegas, want to be in Vegas. So it just seems like a win-win if they take the team there. I just don't see Major League Baseball making much money in Oakland.
The group that should be the most skittish about the fact that the Oakland mayor met with the commissioner is the Salt Lake City group. They want the A's to simply move to Vegas. Vegas gets a team, and then Salt Lake City, as sort of the leader having to beat out Portland, is the team out west in expansion talk. What they don't need is a scenario where Oakland stays in Oakland, Vegas then becomes the leader for an expansion team, and Salt Lake City gets shown the door. On the East Coast, Nashville, appear to be, from a publicity standpoint, ahead of the other contenders. Now, we haven't got any money. We don't have any of the answers to any of the questions that ultimately are going to have to be answered. If we do, this group that keeps pumping out all this stuff has certainly kept it quiet. But to my knowledge, they don't have an owner. They've got a city that I don't think has the money to build a baseball stadium. And so while Nashville has positioned itself really well, there's some big questions that cannot right now be answered. I hope that changes, but I don't know.
What are the other cities on the East Coast that they're considering other than Nashville?
I think you hear Charlotte. I think you hear Oklahoma City. I never hear Montreal anymore. I used to hear Montreal a lot. I don't hear Montreal anymore. I think it's Nashville, Charlotte, OKC.
Yeah, three pretty good cities. I'm with you though with them building a new football stadium in Nashville. We've talked about that before. I just don't know where you get the money from, but I'm sure if they brought one here, they would try to figure it out, because it's obviously going to bring work to the community. It's going to be jobs to the community. It's going to be money for the community. So they would work as hard as they could to get it here. There's no question about that.
And if it comes down to Nashville and Charlotte won't be far behind, and they might, like, Charlotte will put together a great bid. They've already got a beautiful ballpark there. Not saying Nashville doesn't, but I know there's a lot of people in Nashville touting Nashville in the ballpark, but don't sleep on that Charlotte market. That's a great city. They would love a baseball team as well. So I think it's Nashville, and it's like Nashville versus Charlotte. That's what it feels like to me.
But what we don't know right now is there a possibility they could both get it? Which
yes.
The both get it would be is if all hell breaks loose in Tampa and the Rays end up petitioning Major League Baseball to move. If and when that happens, things are going to get really interesting.
Sure will.
Especially around here.
And George, before we go to the break,
a
piece of news in the ACC football. You've heard of the CW network, right?
Yeah.
They will broadcast 50 ACC football and basketball games through 2026-27. It was announced today. The debut is Pitt in Cincinnati on September the 9th. They will be produced by Raycom Sports.
Interesting.
Wow. So ACC with a little different model than the Big 12 and the SEC. So
very interesting.
Maybe it's because they have to. So
last piece of baseball on our end. And don't know what's happened with Danny, but I'm sure there's something going on that he had to tend to, may have forgotten to tell me he couldn't be on. The Yankees, at the beginning of the All-Star break, fired their hitting coach and hired a terrific guy in Sean Casey, former Cincinnati Red. You talk about a guy born to hit. Man, it was Sean Casey. What has happened in New York is really interesting. Once Aaron Judge was hurt, and nobody knows whether he's coming back or not, they don't score any runs. Yeah, they've got Giancarlo Stanton, and no, he's not anywhere near the Marlin Stanton that hit 60-plus one year. And the Yankees don't ever score. And that has led to a lot more speculation, Kelly, that they are going to be the player for old Shohei.
Yeah, that's what I just read. I seriously just read that. So my question is to you, if Aaron Judge does not come back, do they make the postseason? You're already busting Terry McCormick's chops about them not making the postseason anyway. Have they got a chance without Aaron Judge?
They have a chance. And I'm going to stall around here because I'm trying to pull up the standings here at the All-Star break. Kelly, the problem, the Orioles, I can tell you right now, are the the first wild card. The Orioles have been lights out. So help me here, phone. I got too many things I gotta.
Oh, and you operating the phone is just not good.
Oh, you just lighten up. I know exactly what I'm doing. So Baltimore is 19 games over 500, and at the moment, they are the obvious wild card leader. Houston, 9 over 500. Toronto, 9 over 500. Yankees, 7 over 500. Those are basically the three contenders in the wild card. The Yankees have a good shot to make it as a wild card. They very much can. I'll be real interested to see what's going to happen there because their fan base is getting really nervous and they are aiming a lot of it at Josh Donaldson, who's hitting about 150. And
he shouldn't even be on that team anymore. I mean, they need to get over Donaldson.
Well, they put a lot of money. I mean, they've committed a lot of money to him.
But he hasn't done much of anything the last 3 years.
No, and you know what's funny is the Braves, and I'll admit I was one of these people wanted to re-sign him. And Alex Anthopoulos, whatever info he had,
he made a smart move.
Yeah, Austin Riley has killed it. Josh Donaldson is hitting 150.
And probably headed to Scranton Wilkes-Barre soon if he keeps this
probably
up.
Headed into retirement.
You think he'd be done?
Yeah, I do. Kelly, that's our baseball. How'd we do?
It's tough stuff. Tough stuff, man.
We'll go to the break, and then you know what? We'll come back and we will plug our little soiree on Sunday. How's that?
Okay, that's right. Hey, in Bellevue, the Ford Ice Center in Bellevue.
Yeah,
yes.
I would suggest that you learn where this is.
I know where it is now, and I've got an easier way to get there from what my phone was telling me. So I've got it now. I know exactly where it is, and it won't be hard.
Your phone is a piece of crap. Mine is a highly intelligent machine.
Let you tell it is.
Yeah, we'll go to the break, and we'll be back. Year number 2 of the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night was awesome. And the reason is really simple. I chose Strike and Spare, and they were amazing. They have great food, great bowling, and a staff that is truly ready to go the extra mile to help you. They have 5 family fun centers in the area to choose from, and for more info, go to strikeandspare.com or call them at 615-824-5685.
How am I going to get to work? My car's totaled.
Skylar, our team is making a call right now. We'll get you a rental car. Don't worry.
That's a relief.
Call us 24/7. We're here. We're going to help.
You can't see the sights without the sounds. From the crack of the bat to the roar of the crowd and everything in between, discover what Hit City has to offer. Spend your nights cheering on the Nashville Sounds at First Horizon Park with giveaways, fireworks shows, theme weekends, and more. Single game tickets are on sale now. Visit NashvilleSounds.com to claim your seat today.
Hello, this is Celeste Middleton, a State Farm agent in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. I want to help my neighbors and local businesses be proactive and assess their risk before something unexpected happens. We want you to have a thorough understanding of your coverages to have the best protection when you need it. We can create a personal price plan for you. Our team has over 70 years of experience helping people in Middle Tennessee. We have an awesome team with integrity and provide honest and prompt communication, and we love what we do and genuinely care about everyone we work with at our office. Give us a call at 615-895-2700. Send us a message at celestemiddleton.com or walk in at our office at 803 North Thompson Lane in Murfreesboro. We would love to earn your business.
Okay, so here is what we have been touting. We have put a terrific package together of college football people for this Legends Night. Now, as of yesterday, former Tennessee coach Philip Fulmer will not be here. He'll be on with us by Zoom. He's simply, due to a kind of a change in his schedule, not able to be in Nashville on Sunday night. But Watson Brown, David Cutcliffe, and Tony Barnhart all will be there. And Kelly, this is I'm really fired up. When I went after what I was trying to get for this panel, man, we got some of the very best as far as ability to talk. And if you're a college football fan, this is a must-come-to deal.
Yeah, I was really impressed. I had talked to Coach Cutcliffe before, but asking him questions, like he's really knowledgeable. Obviously, he's been in the game for a while. He's back with the SEC now, helping. Didn't know if he was going to get back into coaching, but he is he knows the game inside and out. It was fun to talk to him. I enjoyed talking to him. Coach Brown obviously does stuff with you and on this show, so he's been through the ringer as well. And then Tony Barnhart, he's kind of the know-it-all of SEC Southern football. And Coach Fulmer, it's awful that he's not going to be there, but he'll be on Zoom. So
yeah,
I say it a bunch, and I that's a really good lineup, George. It really is for free. Coming to something free like that with just talking college football right before the SEC media days. That's really something. You got all those guys together. It really is.
Well, it's something that's been in the back of my mind for a while now. The folks at Wilson Bank and Trust, their sponsorship of this is what has been able to allow us to make it a free deal, with the one exception that if you want to have dinner, you simply buy it here at the restaurant, because we're doing it, in and around dinner time. The way this is going to work, these guys will be up on actually this stage, a little bit like we've done with the other two sports speaker series. I'll ask a bunch of the questions early, but then we'll allow a pretty good chunk of time for questions out of the audience, because there are so many issues right now. NIL, transfer portal, hazing, play on the field, all that kind of stuff. And this is going to be just a tremendous evening. I'm very excited about it.
I wish we would have had Coach Brown on to, get his thoughts on the Pat Fitzgerald deal. I mean, we saw him today, but I wish we would have had him on, because he was, he's a head coach. It was kind of like Herm today, being a head coach, being in that environment. How does that work? I think that would have been a really good talk with him to see what he thought about it.
I hate to tell you this.
We're
You
going to
won't
bring it
be
up
on
Sunday.
tomorrow, but Watson will.
Oh, is that right?
Very reason. Yep.
There we go.
There we go.
I was wondering that today when I saw him.
Yeah, he'll be on tomorrow during the 2:00 hour to join us and talk a little bit about some of his thoughts of what is going on. Anyway, let's put the graphic back up for just a second. If for some reason this is the first time you've heard about this and you'd like to come to it Sunday, we've got room. We probably right now have got 160, 165 coming. I would love to have gotten it to 200, and maybe that is still possible. You can email me for a reservation. It's simple, plastergeorge@gmail.com. Simply let me know how many people are in your party, and we'll work it out for you to have the space to come. Again, plastergeorge@gmail.com. It's very simple. This is going to be a lot of fun. And if you have not made plans but want to come on.
It'll be fun. It will be fun. It'll be a lot of knowledge on that stage with you, George. I don't know how much knowledge you're going to give, but there's a lot of knowledge with those four guys.
Absolutely. Billy, you stay out of that. You look like you suddenly want to comment.
No, I
Yes,
wasn't.
if you know what's good for you, you'll keep quiet there.
I was just going to say, nice one, Kelly.
Wow. So now you and Kelly are tight until you screw up something, and then he'll be asking for your head.
The guillotine.
I was surprised that George knew how to throw a football today. I brought a football down there to him, and I was surprised that he holds it all weird and funky. He holds it without the laces. He's got the thumb on the lace.
Thumb on the lace.
Yeah, that's the craziest thing I've ever seen. It's kind of like Kurt Warner and Terry Bradshaw putting their pointer finger on the end of the ball. I don't see how they did that either, but they did. So
But
that's
it
kind
looked
of
like there
crazy
was
to me.
some zip on the ball when I throw it.
Not really.
Yes.
Not really, George.
We'll go to the break on that. Plaster bet of the day is coming up. It wasn't a good night. I'll leave it at that.
As the trusted premier custom home builder in Middle Tennessee, Donnelly Timmons has over 20 years of experience in the industry. Whether you're looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and every remodel is unique, luxurious, and completed on time within budget. Founders Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly have over 25 years of construction experience in the Nashville area. Together, they have completed projects in Forest Hills, Oak Hill, Green Hills, Franklin, and Brentwood. Dustin and Joey believe that communication is the most important aspect of all construction projects. Therefore, they personally manage each project themselves and are involved in job site activities on a daily basis. Their commitment to quality and integrity has earned them an outstanding reputation among their clients. Contact them to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects. Give them a call at 615-456-7983 or log on to DonnellyTimmons.com.
You know, starting to save for your future doesn't have to be difficult. Let Wilson Bank and Trust help tone up your financial goals this year. Our certificates of deposits or CDs can help your money work harder with our competitive rates, earning you more than ever before. WBT checking options allow you to earn rewards you can really use, like a high interest rate or cash back on check card purchases when you meet some e-banking qualifications. Visit your closest Wilson Bank and Trust office or online at wilsonbank.com to get started today. Member FDIC.
Family owned and operated for more than 2 decades, Alaco Fine Wood Floors is Nashville and Middle Tennessee's choice for premium quality hardwood floors. Since 1995, Jimmy Alaco and his army of employees have embodied the approach of taking pride in one's craft and providing superior customer service, growing from a one-man shop to a team of 23 professionals who share the founder's passion for quality craftsmanship and customer satisfaction. If you are interested in contacting them, you can find their headquarters at 2505 Winford Avenue in Berry Hill, or give them a call at 615-356-0303. Again, that's 615-356-0303, or log on to alacofinewoodfloors.com. Alaco Fine Wood Floors, serving Middle Tennessee's hardwood flooring needs since 1995.
At Baird, we have a different slant on global financial advice. That global capabilities mean nothing without personal attention. We have investor relationships in 35 countries and market expertise in over 40 industry verticals, all to help make the most important investment connections of all, yours. Global financial advice with a client-first approach. It's the shape of things to come. Discover the Baird difference at BairdDifference.com.
Hey, thank you for meeting with me today. The insurance company has made an offer.
Already? Wow.
They've offered you the entire policy.
Thank you, Blair.
You're so welcome.
Final segment on a Thursday. Final day for Kelly this week. He will be in attendance on Sunday night. Watson Brown will be with us tomorrow. Bet of the day, though, brought to you by Bart Durham Injury Law. Right now, give him a call at 615-242-9000 or log on to bartdurham.com. George, no bets tonight. You're 206 and 195 and 3. So that's where we're at.
We lost last night.
Oh, and okay, so 206 and 196.
Kelly.
Yeah, he bet on soccer last night. Do we not remember that, Billy?
Yeah, I've sort of put the bet of the day out the window at this point.
Yeah, it's over. Like, can we erase it and go back to zero? Let's just start over.
I'm ready. George. I'm ready to do that.
We'll do that starting tomorrow.
Sounds like a plan.
Kelly, it's been great having you with us this week. Very heartwarming. Get in your car over the next few days and drive around to places. Find out where Smyrna is. See if you can get, where Rivergate Mall and Hickory Hollow Mall are. Maybe even as far as Green Hills.
That's my side of Nashville, George. I mean, I'm over towards the Lipscomb side. I've been down there. I know where everything is, but Bellevue, Belmead, like I had no clue where all that was. I heard you say it. Didn't cross my mind. There's a better way to get there. There's a better way to get there than going 840 and getting off at West End and going down through there. There's a better way to get there. I'll just go interstate this time.
Will you?
Yeah, interstate, get off on 196, and it's right there.
But it's the attitude you brought to this whole screw up.
Well, I mean, I'll have to. I'll have to pack a lunch next time I come. I mean, I'll have to pack something to eat.
Do not act like
it's 40
Bellevue
minutes.
is Zimbabwe, okay?
I'm just saying.
Do we even know where Zimbabwe is?
No,
you do not.
Okay.
You do not, George. So why you keep saying that?
Because it's fun.
And you swear up and down. You swear up and down you're smart because you went to BGA. But I've got a I don't know.
Not buying it. Are you?
We should try this.
I'm not buying it.
We should flip this around. George, could you get to Fayetteville?
Oh, absolutely. It's right at the bottom of the state, like mile marker number 4. If, for instance, if Old Hickory Boulevard in Brentwood is mile marker 74, Fayetteville, Tennessee is right at the bottom of the state, right around mile marker 4.
Boom.
You got to get on exit 14.
Okay.
You got to get on 64.
Mm-hmm.
Got to get on 64 and take it to Fayetteville.
You could get there with no issue.
No issue. I've been to a game at Kelly Holcomb Stadium.
Wow. Oh, have you really, George?
I have.
That was back in the day. Did you watch me?
No. You know what? I may take that back. Pogie and I went down there years ago. By the way, perfect segue to congratulate Greg Pogue, who will join us tomorrow at 3:00 tonight, going in to the Tennessee Sports Writers Hall of Fame, and I will be there to congratulate him.
I'll have to send Pogie a text. He got into the Sports Writers Hall of Fame. That's nice.
Guess who his introducer, his presenter is?
Who's that?
Gruff Dog. Greg Ruff.
Are you surprised?
Really?
Well, it guarantees that it will be interesting. I can't wait to hear where he's going.
Let me know how that goes.
Yeah. Kelly, have a good weekend.
Yes, sir. See y'all.
Billy,
see you, Kel.
Your work is never done.
No, it never ends.
We'll see all of you tomorrow. Watson Brown will join us in the first hour. Pogie will be with us at 3:00, and then Ask the Director. Oh, yeah. See you then.